This is Mark B's Perspective, where we talk about all things. And I got the one and only, man, community activist, Big Kieb. Kayla, first tell us, what did Kayla mean to you? What did your sister mean to you?
Scoot up.
My sister meant more to me than I meant to myself. I never loved anyone more than I love my sister, not my mother and not my father. My sister to me was, my sister had more heart than me, right? My
Right,
sister was smarter than me.
right,
My sister gave me courage. People, she said that I was the one that, boosted her up and did everything for her, right? Because I'm 1 year older, so I showed her a lot of stuff. But what I did with my sister and teaching her things, it was like, it was like teaching my kids because I would pour everything I had in her because I wanted her to be better than me. And so I was more protective of her than I was of myself. Like you could talk stuff to me and I would just be like, okay, man. But if you talk stuff to her, then I was on go. I was 0 to 100
right,
in two
right.
seconds. You know what I'm saying? I'd rather
Uh-huh.
you talk stuff to me because I know, man, you just selling wolf tickets, man. You ain't doing nothing. But to see her upset made me upset. And so everybody's upset now. But my
Yeah.
sister, man, bro, she is me and I am her to the point like we were like twins. That was and the reason why I say that because my brother is 3 years older than me, and whenever my mom or my dad would spank us, it was me and her going like, "Oh, we don't need them. They don't know nothing. Why they?" You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we was in our little own little riff. We ran away in the closet one time, bro. We said we ran away from here. We went in the closet, took some bologna and cheese, and made sandwiches and stayed in the closet for like 20 minutes. Like we don't need the world. It was always me and her against the world, like Tupac cut. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So,
Right.
man, I don't even know how I can even describe her, man, because mere words can't even describe her, Mark.
Let me ask you, man. I gotta ask you. Listen, so my question was, do you remember where you was at when you got the tragic news of your sister?
Yes, I do. I was
Okay.
sitting in my house on off of 23rd and Market Street, and the girl, I don't know if you remember Vet, her brother and Donald and what they call him, they call man, I can't, baby Shannon from Riverside, what they used to call him, man, was with the Yale boys.
Big Jake?
I,
Not Big
Big
Jake.
Jakey, yeah, Big Jake,
Big
yeah, Big
Jake.
Jake
Yeah.
Peoples, Vet. She came and knocked on my door and she said, Key, Kay's been shot down Leroy's. And I said, huh? And she said, yes, she's been shot. She said, I would take you down there. And so I jumped in the car with her and rode down there to Leroy's. When I got to Leroy's, the ambulance was riding down the street. You know what I mean? So they had just picked her up and put her in the
Okay.
ambulance. And so I got out the car with Vet because I wanted to see the set. And as I got out the car and was looking at the set, I believe it was Dan, Nurk, and maybe I'm missing a couple other people, but all I remember is Dan and Nurk. You know what I'm saying? And so I got in the car. In fact, Nurk was in front of us. I think Dan caught a flat. He was in the car with Dan, and we got in the car with Nurk, I believe. I might be wrong, man, fuzzy on that,
Okay.
but we rode down to the hospital from Leroy's. But I was sitting in my house off of 23rd Street, man, when I got that news.
Okay. Did that change your life any kind of way? Your perspective on life, or did it change your life at all at that moment?
Man, my whole life has been changed, right? Malcolm X said a long time, and I never forget when he said this, man. This really gripped home to me. He said when they was threatening him to bomb his house and everything, they said, "What do you think?" And Malcolm X said, "I have already died. I fear
Mm,
nothing. I have already.
right.
I died, brother, in 1996. That's why, man, Mark, man, for real, bro, I don't care about shit. You hear
Yeah.
me? I
Yeah.
fear, man, listen,
Yeah.
you talking about somebody who was fearless. She was fearless, right? And
Yeah.
so I always revert back to my sister. And I'm telling you, man, I fear nothing. I
Yeah.
have died in 1996.
Wow.
That's when I died. And now, but I thank God though for
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Because if it had not been for Jesus, brother, because Mark, man, when I went down to the hospital, right, man, and they took me in a room and they said, uh, your sister's back there, you know, we're working on her, we're doing the whole 9 yards and everything, right? It was a calm that came over me, right? That
Mm.
it's out of this world. I still can't explain it. Later on, my mom came back there with me. And my mom, I was on my knees praying, right, Mark? But I said to myself, she's gone, right? This I know this was the Lord talking to me. Now, you know, I know now, but I didn't know at the time because I just got saved and I didn't really know the Lord's voice. And so as I'm praying, I'm like, I don't feel nothing, Lord. Like this is strange, man. I can feel the prayer wheels turning. You know when they say you can feel
Right.
it burning and everything. I felt nothing. And he said, she's going. And so my mom came in the room. She just got there. And my mom said, get up. She's gone. I'm like, hold on, mom. You don't even know. No, you just got here.
Right.
She said she's gone.
Mm.
And I said, this no, 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 no. But I felt numb. I didn't feel like crying. I didn't feel like shouting. I felt nothing. I knew it was the Lord protecting me, Mark, right? His grace and his mercy. And so the lady came. Oh, before that though, the people came in and said, do you want her to be an organ donor? And I said, you know, yeah, go ahead and make an organ donor. You know what I'm saying? That's
Yeah.
something, you know, but I didn't know that they was in the mix of what they was doing. And anyway, so when my mom got there, she said, get up. She's gone. I'm like, mom, you just got here. You don't know nothing. But then they finally came in and they said that she's gone. Now, when they're telling me she's gone, I'm like, well, where's the emotion? Where's the breakdown cry? Where's the, and I'm looking around like, yo, this must be a dream. You know, people say, pinch yourself, this is a dream. I literally thought that it was a dream and this was not real. And it didn't sink in to the next morning. I fainted. I
Mm.
never I never been out unconscious or nothing like that, brother. I was at the table. I stood there. All my family was there. Everybody was talking and everything, and I still didn't feel nothing. And then all of a sudden, boom! I'm at the bottom of the table. I'm looking up, and I'm like, "What's going on?" Everybody's like, "You okay? You okay?" I said, "I know I'm okay." And I said, "They said you fainted." I said, "Fainted?" They said, "Yeah, you just
Mm.
passed out." And I said to myself, "It must have been from the grief."
Yeah.
But the Lord still kept me. This was some, man. I know this was from on high, Mark. Man, this was from on high, bro.
So I want to say this to you, man. I know you're strong, and sometimes we forget about our strong people. Even though it's been many years, man, I want to say my condolences and my prayers, because that's a hard pill to swallow. So I still want to, even though it's so long ago, I still want to extend that to you, my brother.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh
Yes,
yeah.
sir.